Hello, fellow hiker trashers. Oh, or trashies, trashettes. I don't know. Anyways, welcome to Hiker Trash Talk. Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Hiker Trash Talk, my personal blog where I basically talk about anything that's backpacking related that's on my mind. So, happy Saturday. I hope everybody is out there having a good weekend this weekend. Among the things I want to talk about today are, recently I did a section hike on the Appalachian Trail, and I don't know how many of you guys have been out on any of the major trails recently, but I was really kind of surprised at the large amount of people I was running into close to the roads, the gap areas, especially places like Three Forks. There was an absolute enormous amount of people in some of those places, which really surprised me because we're in a pandemic still, and apparently the numbers are going up right now. I really haven't looked that closely at them, but the numbers are going up, and so I felt like that was kind of unfortunate, especially for people that wanted to go out and section hike and kind of pseudo self-isolate, I guess I could say, that they're running into those issues when you're getting close to the roads, where people can basically car camp, people that aren't backpacking, and there was just these enormous amounts of crowds down there. And when I say enormous, I don't use that word lightly. In Three Forks, I ran into, I would say easily in excess of about 70 people. So, and that is a pretty good amount of people down to having a gap. And so that was a little bit frustrating for me, because that's a really pretty area. I wanted to shoot some video, take some photos, and I wasn't able to do that because there were so many people there that I wasn't going to stick around and put myself at risk while I was out on my section hike, knowing I was going to be out there for days at a time. And I don't know, I think people should just maybe think a little bit harder when they're planning, their weekends. I understand that we all have a limited amount of things that we can do, but if you get somewhere like that and there's 30, 40, 50 people already there, maybe it's a good idea. Maybe you should second guess what you're doing and go do something else. Because I think that's a big problem right now. We're just like, there's a bunch of people here, but it'll be all right. But, it's really not. Another thing, I don't know how many of you guys have been paying attention to any of the major gear companies lately, but it looks like Gossamer Gear is going to release 2 for sure new DCF tents. If you're a fan of the 1 or the 2 tents they currently offer that are in sil nylon, those tents are going to be available, or may already currently be available, in DCF, which is pretty cool because with DCF expanding and being used by more companies, hopefully that will kind of drive the cost down a little bit of it. If the demand is higher and it is a more readily available, and it's used in higher quantities, we might actually see better pricing in the next few years. And real talk, it is becoming one of the most popular materials to use in the backpacking world, for good reason too. I've done a fair amount of research on it, and I actually have not switched any gear out to DCF as of yet, because number 1, I'm kind of cheap, and number 2, I wanted to see what long term it was going to look like. And now it is showing that it is a real value for long term. There's more than enough people out there that have multiple hundreds and even thousands of miles on some DCF gear. So it is fastly proving itself to be as good as it's supposed to be, and my plans for 2021 will be upgrading a fair amount of my gear to DCF, or Cuban fiber as it was previously called, because even just the water resistance factors of it are pretty exciting. So I don't know if any of you currently own the Gossamer Gear 1 or 2, but like I said, those tents are going to be available in DCF. I did a little bit of research on them. The only thing I can say that I did not like about them was that they are still making the bathtub floor out of sil nylon. And I don't really know what the reasoning for that was. If it was a puncture resistant type of thing, it's a special blend, looks like a 7D that they're using on the bathtub floor. But for me, that's one of the places I really want the DCF because of its ability to keep water out. That was a huge thing for me, and the price is very close to the Z-Pack shelters that are comparable, and the only thing that you're getting out of the Z-Packs more is the DCF bathtub floor. So be looking forward to some reviews of those. I'm sure some people will be picking them up, but that's my thoughts on that thus far. I don't know how many of you follow Darwin on the Trail here on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook, but his media company, The Outdoor Evolution, has launched a public lands campaign called #GiveAShit, is where you can find it on a lot of these platforms, and you can also find more information about it on theoutdoorevolution.com. And I'll put some links in the description below if you guys are interested in that. It's pretty cool. He's basically highlighting companies that are giving back from their profits to public lands and conservation efforts, which is important probably now more than ever. And I don't know if any of you are part of the Appalachian Trail Conservancy or other programs like that, but that's what we're looking at, and there's a list on the Outdoor Evolution of the companies who are participating in that. So if you're interested in that or you would like to give to that, he is selling pins, and I believe there are a few other things that are for sale as well. And they are working on a new film. If you follow along at the Outdoor Evolution's Instagram page, Public Lands film, that they started production on. So if you like the content that Darwin on the Trail puts out, it looks like there's going to be plenty more for 2021, which is exciting. He's one of my favorite creators on YouTube, and I'm sure a lot of you watch him as well. So be looking for that if you haven't seen that yet, and maybe go over there and get yourself a pin. As the weather turns colder, I still have plans of doing a few trips. In fact, we will be heading out tomorrow to go to the Red River Gorge. And I think I'm going to do some winter backpacking and camping this year. I don't know exactly when or where that's going to be, but it's something I would like to try out. In the past, I have done a small amount of winter backpacking and camping, but never more than a few times. So it's something I want to experiment, and I want to see how I like it, because I know some people are pretty fond of it, and now that I've switched into the hammock setup, I'd like to see how that works out too. Obviously I'm going to have to get a little bit better insulation, because my insulation right now, comfort level ends at about 35 degrees. Do you guys plan on going out and winter backpacking this year? Are you winter backpackers, maybe hot tent camping? If you do, leave some comments down below for maybe some ideas that will make those trips better, or some places that you like to go. Because I am a big fan of snow-covered landscapes, I guess I should say. So there's plenty of beauty to be seen in the winter time, and I know a lot of people that have a lot of fun winter backpacking. So I will be dabbling in that this year. As we continue on into the late months of 2020, it seems like we're not really getting any closer to getting away from the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm curious, how are you guys adjusting your backpacking plans to deal with it? Because I know this year, like I said, it did affect my Appalachian Trail section hike this year. I was nervous a couple of times because of the amount of people that I encountered while I was out there, which was surprising to me, but a lot of people told me it was a result of people having nothing else to do. So I don't know. I know going forward I will be trying to continue with backpacking and doing things in the outdoors. However, being a lot more conscious of the amounts of people that I'm going to be encountering while doing those things. I don't know what you guys are necessarily doing to stay safe. Feel free to share that down in the comments as well. And hopefully we can get out of this sooner than later, because I know that 2021 I would like to be a big year for backpacking for myself and for travel for my family, but in the current situation that's not going to be an option if things do not get drastically better. So curious as to how everybody else is dealing with it. And anyways, that's about all for today. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for all of you that have followed along and continue to follow along. I'm going to try to be doing these once a week, and to keep myself sane, basically. And if you enjoy these, if you enjoy this type of content, if you enjoy the backpacking content, the on-trail content, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if I'm doing a good job. It really helps me out in the algorithms of YouTube so that this content reaches more people. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I hope you guys are enjoying your fall and ready to enjoy the holidays coming up. And until next time, guys, remember to hike your own hike.